Ever heard of a lechuza? Remember the time when I saw a creature that I'd never heard of before? It was when I was 19 years old and I was living in Pierson, Florida. For those who don't know, Pierson is a small town that can be difficult to navigate if you aren't familiar with it. The town is surrounded by dirt roads, greenhouses, and gives off a sketchy vibe. One of my friends lived in a remote area of Pierson, which I disliked driving to specifically, especially at night. And one day, my friend and I were leaving her house, and it was still daylight out. As I was backing out of her driveway and straightened my car forward to start driving, I saw something that I couldn't believe with my eyes. It was a creature that wore a cloak, and it was gray in color. The creature had a male presence, and it was very dominant. It was mad at me, and I can tell from the noise that it made. The sound was a mix of a baby's cry and a demonic growl. I will never forget the noise it made, until this very day. The creature lunged at my car as it screamed, and my friend and I saw and heard it. I was so scared that I drove out of there as fast as I could, and my friend and I were in disbelief the whole way home. We cried, laughed uncomfortably, and questioned what we had seen. It was a lot to take in, and I didn't sleep well that night. The next day, I called my friend's sister to tell her what had happened, and I described the creature to her. She told me matter-of-factly that it was a lechuza, a creature known as a witch or a bad omen that brings bad luck or warns people to stay away. The lechuza wears a cloak and it has a bird's beak, but no description could do it justice. The experience was terrifying, and I'll never forget the noise the lechuza made. Even now at 33 years old, the memory has stayed with me and will never leave. My ex-boyfriend visit. As a devout Christian, my faith in the existence of multiple dimensions, created by God and yet beyond our complete comprehension, remains steadfast. While I acknowledge Einstein's calculations, which provide compelling evidence for the existence of at least 27 dimensions, I'm convinced that there are countless more waiting to be discovered. My belief system encompasses various facets, including the power of intuition, the presence of signs from a higher realm, and the existence of an afterlife. Moreover, I firmly believe that our thoughts possess a profound influence in one of these dimensions, which is exemplified by individuals who possess a heightened connection and can perceive the thoughts of others. Recently, I received news that shook me to the core. It turns out that my ex-boyfriend, whom I affectionately refer to as Ray, had passed away in March of 2022. Astonishingly, an entire year had slipped by without my knowledge of his departure. Describing our relationship as complicated would be an understatement. Perhaps it leaned towards a casual dynamic, albeit with underlying foundation of profound friendship. Ray grappled with anxiety and resorted to medicating himself, and usually with marijuana as the coping mechanism. These details are significant as they represent my limited understanding of him through these lenses. However, the course of my life took a dramatic turn in 2019 when I met and fell head over heels in love with the man of my dreams, whom I shall refer to as Grant. Our connection blossomed, and in the same year, we exchanged vows, embarking on a journey of love and commitment. The birth of our precious baby in 2021 solidified our bond, and we aspire to build a life together that will span a lifetime. Ever since learning about Ray's demise due to cancer, an arduous battle he valiantly fought for 16 months, silently choosing not to reach out and inform me, I've experienced sporadic surges of thoughts relating to him, and at times I'm inclined to believe that these occurrences coincide with his spiritual presence drawing near to me. Today marked the first day of potty training for my daughter, a significant milestone in her young life. In the midst of our joyous celebration, as we danced exuberantly to the rhythm of the music, I couldn't shake the feeling that Ray was watching over us, his countenance radiating with an ethereal smile. Curiously, both my daughter and I ventured into the kitchen, leaving my phone behind in the living room, continuing to play the melodic tunes through our Bluetooth speaker. Out of the blue, midway through the song, my phone abruptly transitioned to "Till My Last Day" by Justin Moore, a track whose lyrics encapsulate profound meaning and significance. If you are unfamiliar with the song, I implore you to look up its lyrics and immerse yourself in its heartfelt sentiments. The sudden switch sent shivers cascading down my spine, leaving me awestruck and emotionally moved. However, the profoundness of the moment was far from over. Shortly after the mysterious song change, my daughter's attempt at using the potty ended in minor mishap. She missed her target, inadvertently soiling the floor, and in a twist of fate, slipped and fell into her own accident before I could reach out to catch her. Hastily, I rushed to grab a towel, hoping to rectify the situation and restore a semblance of order. Meanwhile, as I tended to the messy aftermath, I noticed a peculiar occurrence. A barely perceptible reduction in the music's volume. Intrigued, I examined my phone and made a startling discovery. The volume had been turned all the way down. In that moment, an overpowering realization washed over me, flooding my senses with indescribable mixes of emotions. I realized that Ray's mischievous spirit, even in the afterlife, still found ways to playfully interact with mine. It was as if he had orchestrated the sequence of events from the song change to the mishap with my daughter to remind me of his enduring presence and love. Tears welled up in my eyes as I embraced the bittersweet beauty of the moment. Despite the physical separation and the passing of time, Ray had found a way to reach out and touch my life, reaffirming our connection on a spiritual level. It was a testament to the boundless nature of love and the unbreakable bonds that we form with those that have touched our hearts. In the depths of my soul, I felt a profound gratitude for the divine orchestrations that had led me to Grant, my loving husband and father of our child. While Ray and I had shared a significant chapter in our lives, it was Grant who had become my rock and my partner and my soulmate. Our love had flourished, and together we built a life filled with joy, commitment, and blessings of parenthood. The echoes of Ray's presence in my life only served to reinforce the magnitude of what Grant and I had created together. As I completed the task of cleaning up the little accident, a sense of serenity enveloped me. I knew in my heart that Ray's visitation, however playful and mischievous, was a sign of his well-being in the realm beyond. It was a comforting reassurance that he had found peace and that his spirit continued to watch over those that he cared for. In the days that followed, I found solace in sharing this extraordinary experience with Grant. His unwavering support and understanding embraced my beliefs, intertwining our spiritual connections with the love that had brought us together in the first place. Together, we marveled at the mysteries of the universe and the intricate ways in which our lives were interwoven with unseen dimensions. From that day forward, I embraced the moments when thoughts of Ray surged within me. Each occurrence became a gentle reminder of the eternal nature of love and the interconnectedness of our souls. I no longer questioned or doubted these intangible connections, but embraced them as sacred gifts, a testament to the profound mysteries of the divine. As the years passed, our daughters grew and our family flourished. We celebrated milestones, overcame challenges, and cherished the blessings that life bestowed upon us. And throughout it all, I carried Ray's memory in my heart, forever grateful for the lessons that he had taught me about friendships, love, and the resilience of the human spirit. In the tapestry of my life, the threads of past and present intertwined seamlessly, forming a beautiful mosaic of experiences that shaped me. This belief in unseen dimensions, the power of intuition, and the enduring nature of love became pillars of my faith, guiding me through the joys and trials that lay ahead. And so with every passing day, I continue to navigate this earthly existence, ever aware of the spiritual realm that intertwines with our reality. I cherish the moments of connection, the signs of synchronicities that remind me of the vastness of existence and the divine presence that surrounds us. In the end, my journey is one of faith, love, and a deep appreciation for the intricate tapestry of life. As I walk the path, I remain open to the wonders that lie beyond our comprehension, knowing that the dimensions that we have yet to explore are filled with boundless possibilities and the eternal embrace of a loving creator. Unexplained, eerie stuff happening. I've always been interested in the paranormal, but since last year, I haven't been engaged with it as I used to be. However, during this period, some weird stuff has happened that I can't explain. One day while I was lying on my bed wide awake, I felt like someone sat on the edge of my bed. I know very well that my mind did not make it up because it felt too real. I jumped up to check, and nothing was there. Then a few weeks later, the same thing happened again, and this time I was awake. I turned to the other side of my bed, and I swear I heard someone sigh loudly near my ear. Once again, I was alone in the room. These incidents were enough to give me chills. After these experiences, I began waking up in the middle of the night for no apparent reason, and at times I would see scratches and bruises on my body the next morning. I couldn't explain how they got there, and this happened last week too. I woke up with a large brown mark on my ribs, and I have no idea how it got there. I've been trying to make sense of all of these incidents, but I can't find any logical explanation. I've been wondering if anyone else has had similar experiences, or if it's just an explanation as to what might be going on simply. I've researched the internet and read numerous articles, but none of them have been helpful. The more I try to make sense of it, the more confused and scared I became. I've even considered seeking help from a paranormal investigator, but I'm not sure if it's the right thing to do. These incidents have left me feeling anxious and paranoid, and I can't shake off the feeling that something's not right. I'm hoping that by sharing my experience, someone might have some sort of answer to be able to shed some light on what's happening to me. House full of ghosts. Bunch of kids and one adult. When I was 12 years old, my family and I moved to a house on the outskirts of Los Angeles County, not far from the Knott's Berry Farm at Disneyland. It was the early 80s and we lived there for about a year. The house was completely haunted, and a bunch of strange things happened that I couldn't explain. Every night everyone went to bed. I could hear someone digging with a shovel outside the window. However, there was no one there when I checked. If I turned on the lights, the sound would stop, but only for a few seconds, maybe 30 at the most, and then they'd resume. This went on for months. I had OCD as a kid, and I'd put all of my toys at the right place at night, and on several occasions the following morning they'd be scattered all over the floor as if someone had played with them during the night. I would yell at my younger siblings thinking that they had done it. My mother would tell me I was the last one to go to sleep and the first to wake up, so it was not them. Every night without fail, at 11 p.m., I could hear children yelling and playing in the backyard outside upstairs the window. If I looked out the window, it was pitch black and there was nothing there, and on more than one occasion, I went downstairs and opened the door to the backyard, but the sound was gone. You couldn't hear it from downstairs, only upstairs. My grandmother came to spend the night once. She got so scared, she never came back. She slept in the upstairs spare bedroom and said that she heard noises outside the window. When she looked out the window, down below she would see a shadow walking up to the front door, but no one was there. My aunt spent the night once in the same bedroom, and something similar happened, noises just outside the window. And when she looked down below, she saw lights moving and shadows, moving toward the front door, but no one was there. Like my grandmother, she struggled to explain what it was that she heard and saw. She never came back to visit. The house rented cheaper than any of the other houses in the area. Every time the landlord would come by to pick up the rent, she would ask if everything was okay. My parents would invite her inside the house, and she would always refuse. The neighbors to the right of us were very strange. They were an older couple. The man would never say a word, not one, not even hi. But the wife was always extra nice. She would ask the same things as the landlord. Is everything okay? Are you guys doing good? She knew something. We were playing with one of the neighborhood kids once, running around. We all ran back to our house, and it was just as we went through the front door, he stopped in his tracks. He said he was not allowed in the house. His parents forbade him. Why? Because he had spent the night once with a kid who lived in the house before we did a year earlier. And during the night, the mother of the kid who used to live there started screaming and grabbed the kids and ran out of the house. As they ran, they also saw a blue mist and a ghost with a distinct pattern on its head and shoulders. The only person in my family to see the blue mist and ghost was my father, who said it walked down the stairs and directly into a closet. His description was identical to that of our friend who refused to come back to the house. The last day we were in the house, We had finished putting up things for a U-Haul truck, and we were cleaning up the last of the things. I remember we were eating pizza too, as we were getting ready to walk out of the house. I felt a mixture of relief and sadness. We had lived there for a year, and despite all the strange occurrences, it had been our home. I remembered the excitement I felt when we first moved in, and I was excited to explore the neighborhood, make new friends, and see what adventures awaited me. But the adventures that awaited us were not the ones that we had expected. From the very first night that we moved in, we would sense that something was off. I remember lying in bed trying to fall asleep when I heard a faint sound outside of my window. At first, I thought it was just the wind rustling the leaves, but then I heard it again, louder this time. It sounded like someone was digging with a shovel outside my window. I tried to ignore it and go back to sleep, but the sound continued. It was a steady rhythm, like someone digging a hole. I was too scared to get out of bed and check, so I just lie there, listening to the sound until it eventually stopped. The next morning I told my parents about what I had heard, but they dismissed it as my imagination. They told me that it was probably just me hearing things and that it was nothing to worry about. But the digging sound continued every night, and soon other strange things would happen as well. One night I woke up to find all my toys scattered on the floor. I was confused and angry, thinking my younger siblings had played with them during the night, but my mother told me that it was the last one to go to sleep, so it couldn't have been them, but I already told you that. Despite all these strange occurrences, we never really talked about them, while we lived in the house anyway. We all tried to rationalize what we saw and heard, thinking that we were just imagining things. And it wasn't until we moved out of the house that we started comparing stories and realizing that we all had experienced strange occurrences. One of my roommates mentioned that she would hear someone whisper her name when she was alone in the house. But when she turned around, no one was there. Another roommate said that she always felt like she was being watched and that she would occasionally see shadows moving in her peripheral vision. As we continued to talk, we also realized that we had strange dreams while living in that house. Some of us dreamt of dark figures standing in the corners of our rooms, while others dreamt of being trapped or suffocated. At this point, we all became convinced that the house was definitely haunted. We had never believed in ghosts before, but there was no other explanation for the things that had happened to us while we lived there. Looking back, I think that the experiences we had in that house were a combination of our imaginations running wild and the strange sounds and creaks from an old house. However, I can't deny that there were some things that happened that still can't be explained to this day. Prophetic dream about death came true. Over 2 decades have passed since I lost my beloved father. The memories of those tumultuous weeks leading up to his passing still haunt me. He had been confined to the hospital for approximately 6 agonizing weeks. His condition deteriorated rapidly due to sepsis. It was a devastating ordeal for me, as my father was not only my parent but also my closest confidant and best friend in the entire world. However, it was a particular dream that struck me with an eerie sense of foreboding, leaving an indelible mark on my psyche. Roughly 3 weeks before his eventual demise, I found myself immersed in a distressing vision during my slumber. In the dream, I entered a vast room, its expanse filled with an array of coffins, each possessing its own unique size, color, and design. Some were humble and unassuming, while others were opulent and exorbitantly priced. It was an overwhelming sight to behold. As I stood there, contemplating the significance of this unsettling dream, a disembodied voice echoed through the chamber, urging me to make a choice. "Pick one," it commanded. Naturally, confusion and panic flooded me. Pick one? For who? I questioned in a state of distress. The voice responded solemnly, "For your dad." In an instant, I jolted awake, engulfed in a frenzied panic. The intensity of the moment was so consuming that I can't recall whether I let out a blood-curdling scream or remained in a state of complete silent shock. My wife, awakened by my sudden turmoil, hastened to calm my racing heart and soothe my troubled mind. It was just a dream, she reassured me gently. Gradually, I regained a semblance of composure, casting a forlorn gaze upon my wife and expressing the haunting realization that I had become painfully clear to me. My dad isn't going to make it. He's not coming home. My father had valiantly battled kidney failure for the past 2 decades, navigating a treacherous journey filled with countless hospital visits, recurrent surgeries, and even a transplant. The resilience he exhibited throughout the years and these trials had instilled a steadfast hope that he would always triumph over adversity and return home, just as he had done so many times before. But this time, he remained hospitalized during this particular episode, and it never occurred to us that his departure from the world was imminent. We had grown accustomed to the ebb and flow of medical emergencies, perpetually clinging to the belief that he would defy the odds once more. Thus, the news of his passing struck us a profound and bewildering shock. The day of his passing blurred into an amalgamation of overwhelming emotions. I found myself adrift, struggling to maintain a fragile semblance of composure amid the weight of my grief. The hospital staff directed me to visit the funeral parlor to initiate the necessary arrangements for retrieving my father's body. Accompanied by my uncle, a pillar of support during those trying times, I made my way to the somber establishment, prepared to navigate the practicalities of bidding farewell to my cherished father. Sitting within the confines of a solemn office, I found myself immersed in a sea of paperwork, tasked with completing numerous formalities that marked the somber transition from life to death. As I filled the requisite information, attempting to steady my trembling hand, a sense of otherworldly presence descended upon the room. I sensed movement behind me, and my gaze was drawn to a door that had previously escaped my notice. The person from the parlor who had been guiding me through the proceedings stood up with an air of solemnity. Attempting to steady my trembling hand, a sense of otherworldly presence descended upon our room. I sensed movement behind me, and my gaze was drawn to a door that had previously escaped my notice. The person from the parlor who had been guiding me through the proceedings stood up with an air of solemnity and gestured for us to follow him. Curiosity gripped me as I followed the funeral parlor representative, accompanied by my steadfast uncle, into an expansive room that awaited us beyond the mysterious door. As we crossed the threshold, a profound sense of solemnity enveloped us, intensified by the sight that unfolded before our eyes. The room was adorned with a multitude of coffins, each one unique in size, color, and craftsmanship, mirroring the vivid imagery of my haunting dream. The stark contrast between the humble and opulent was striking, a reflection of the diverse paths that individuals tread in their final resting places. The funeral parlor representative's voice resonated through the hushed atmosphere, breaking the silence that hung heavy in the air. With measured words, he uttered those hauntingly familiar instructions. Pick one. It was as if the dream I had experienced weeks before had materialized before me, challenging me to confront the profound reality of my father's departure. Emotions surged with me, a tumultuous mix of grief, confusion, and a glimmer of inexplicable understanding. Was this a mere coincidence, an eerie alignment of events, or was there something more profound at play? Deep within my soul, a belief began to take hold that perhaps there was a divine orchestration guiding my path, intertwining the realms of dreams and reality. With a hesitant yet resolute spirit, I approached the sea of coffins, my fingertips gazing the surfaces as I searched for the vessel that would cradle my father's remains. Each touch, each moment of connection, felt imbued with a deeper significance, as if an unseen force guided my hand. My eyes were drawn to a particular coffin, its elegant craftsmanship and understated beauty resonating with the essence of my father's spirit. It was as if this vessel, this sacred container, whispered to me, assuring to me that it was the right choice. In that pivotal moment, surrounded by the tangible symbols of mortality, I made my selection, a choice that extended beyond the physical realm. It was a testament to the unbreakable bond I shared with my father, transcending the boundaries of life and death. With a heavy heart, I conveyed my decision to the funeral parlor representative, and together we embarked on the solemn journey of arranging the final farewell for my beloved father. In the days that followed, as we prepared for the funeral and navigated the intricate details of honoring my father's memory, I found solace in the notion that the dream had served as a profound message, a spiritual communication that had transcended the confines of time and space. It was as if my father had reached out from the realms beyond, offering me a glimpse into the profound mysteries that lie just beyond our comprehension. The funeral itself became a poignant celebration of my father's life, a testament to the impact that he made and those that loved him. The room filled with friends, family, and acquaintances united in their collective grief and the shared memories that painted a vibrant portrait of my father's legacy. We gathered, enveloped in a tapestry of tears, laughter, and heartfelt stories, honoring the man that had touched our lives in immeasurable ways. As I reflect upon the transformative period, I'm struck by the realization that death is not an end, but rather a transition, a gateway to a realm beyond our mortal understanding. The synchronicities, the dreams, and the inexplicable occurrences that peppered my journey are threads in the tapestry of a larger narrative, reminding me that there's a vastness to existence, and it extends far beyond the realm of the tangible. In the years that have followed, I've continued to explore the interplay between the seen and the unseen, the finite and the infinite. My beliefs have expanded, embracing the interconnectedness of all things, enduring presence of our loved ones beyond the confines of our earthly existence. Through my personal experiences and profound encounters with the mysteries of life and death, I've come to understand that our departed loved ones continue to guide and watch over us, their presence intertwined with the fabric of our lives. The journey of self-discovery and spiritual exploration led me to delve deeper into the realms of metaphysics and the nature of consciousness. I discovered that we're more than just a physical being inhabited by a singular dimension. Rather, we are multidimensional beings, intricately connected to a vast tapestry of existence that extends far beyond what our limited human senses can perceive. Guided by my newfound understanding, I delved deep into the concept of multiple dimensions. Contemplating the intricacies of time and space, it became clear to me that there are dimensions beyond our immediate awareness, realms where the essence of our thoughts, emotions, and intentions can resonate and manifest. Within this expanded worldview, the idea that our thoughts possess power in a dimension beyond our own became a tangible reality. It echoed the experiences of those who had honed their intuitive abilities, granting them access to realms of thoughts that intermingle with telepathic connections can be formed. These individuals serve as living testaments to the boundless potential of the human mind and the interconnectedness that permeates the vast cosmic tapestry. It was against this backdrop of expanded consciousness that the news of my ex-boyfriend's passing, discovered belatedly after a year of his battling with cancer, took on a profound significance. Though our relationship had been unconventional, characterized by a blend of casual connection and deep friendship, the news of this departure from this world stirred a mix of emotions with me. In the wake of this revelation, a series of synchronicities and unexplainable occurrences unfolded, reinforcing my beliefs. I apologize, the story is repeating itself several times. In a world that often feels fragmented and disconnected, this understanding offers a profound sense of unity and purpose. It reminds us that our existence extends beyond the physical realm, that our actions, thoughts, and intentions have ripple effects that transcend time and space. Although grief may linger and the ache of loss may never fully dissipate, I've come to see that there is a beauty in the tapestry of life and death. It is through the interconnectedness of all things that we find solace, meaning, and unbreakable bonds of love. So, as I continue to navigate the intricacies of existence, I hold on to the belief that our departed loved ones are not truly gone. They live on within our hearts, their essence intertwined with our own, and as I bask in the warmth of their enduring presence, I find solace, comfort, and a profound sense of peace, knowing that love transcends the boundaries of time and death, weaving an intricate web of connection that spans eternity. I think I saw the ghost of my Nan when I was a child. When I was 9 years old, my Nan died of cancer. It was a misdiagnosis, and the doctors only realized she had cancer when it was too late. Her death hit me hard. I loved her so much that I hyperventilated at her funeral and cried that hard. It was tough for my family too, but we had a strong connection to Wales, with our family being part Welsh, so we spent every year there. After her death, not long after, we were sitting on a bench at some place in Wales, and I glanced over at another bench. There was a woman sitting there alone, who I'm 99% sure was my Nan. I couldn't believe it. I rubbed my eyes, thinking it might have been a trick of the light, but when I opened them, she was still there, sitting quietly and enjoying the sea view. She was wearing a very familiar coat, her arm draped over the back of the bench, her eyes slightly squinted against the sun. And she was smiling. It was amazing and stunning at the same time. The thing I remember most is that I didn't say anything to anyone. I just looked at her. It was like my mouth had gone dry and I couldn't even speak. It was as if I was the only one who could see her. I don't even remember seeing her leave. Perhaps we left first, but all I know is that I'm fairly sure I saw her that day. And since then, there have been times when I am sure that she's visited me. I've felt her presence and I've even seen her in my dreams. She has always been a beacon of light in my life, and I know that she's looking down on me, proud of the person that I've become. I loved her so much, and I hope that she knows that I love her. I moved away from home, and it's been nearly 2 years since I've been back. But next week, I'm going to go back and visit her and leave her flowers. It's been too long, and I miss her too much. I know that she's not physically there, but her memory and spirit are still alive in my heart. A short collection of ghost stories from my old house. I was raised in a house with a dark history. When I was only 4 years old, my family moved in. There's a concrete ramp that led to the door, which was built for a disabled man who had once lived there. Unfortunately, he had passed away after falling into a nearby river and drowning. The story of his tragic demise always frightened me as a child, especially when my mother told me that she had once fallen asleep downstairs and had a dream of a man in a wheelchair watching her. Part of me was convinced that it wasn't just a dream. Moving on to some of the strange occurrences I experienced while living in that house. The room at the front of the house, which happened to be my bedroom, was definitely haunted. I saw and heard a lot of things that I couldn't explain away. For instance, my wardrobe would rock for no apparent reason, even when I wasn't anywhere near it. I tried to attribute it to perhaps sitting on a wonky floorboard and slipping, but deep down I knew there was something more to it. One time I was sitting on my bed with my cat when I saw a shadow move out of the corner of my eye. My cat looked too, but there was nothing there. Another time my bed moved when I was sitting on it, and again I tried to rationalize it by thinking it wasn't on the floor, so it must have slipped. I remember my radio making noise when it wasn't plugged in, or when it wasn't near it at all, but my memory is hazy on that one. However, the most bizarre experience I had in that house was when our dog died at the age of 16. She used to bark to come in from the garden, and even after she passed, I would hear that distinctive bark. It was the weirdest thing because our neighborhood said that they heard it too. One night, I was either home alone or the last one to bed, and as I was turning off the kitchen light, I heard someone say goodnight. It was a creepy and unexplainable experience that sent shivers down my spine. Lastly, after we got another dog, one night we were all relaxing on the sofa when suddenly the dog jumped up, ran to the bottom of the stairs, and started barking viciously at something at the top. His hackles were up, and there was nothing there to trick his vision. I decided to investigate, but the dog wouldn't follow me, so I was left alone to face the unknown. Sadly, we were eventually forced out of the house several years ago, but I miss it in some ways. The house got me used to the paranormal, so when we moved into our next house and I heard footsteps in an empty room, I didn't even react. I hope the new family who moved in after us were able to cope with the strange happenings in that house. Scratches and marks are appearing with no apparent cause. I feel like I'm going crazy. It was a few weeks ago when I first noticed a peculiar occurrence in my bedroom, one that left me feeling bewildered and questioning my sanity. As I gazed upon the familiar walls of my sanctuary, my eyes fell upon a deep scratch etched into the surface, positioned just above my bed. I was taken back, for I had not made any significant changes to the arrangement of furniture in the room. The scratch seemed to have materialized out of thin air, defying any logical explanation. Curiosity gnawed at me, urging me to investigate further. I turned my attention downward, only to find yet another enigmatic mark, and this time on the hard floor. A massive, deep scratch marred the otherwise pristine surface, a stark contrast to the previously flawless state. I couldn't comprehend how such a significant blemish had manifested itself without my knowledge or any plausible cause. Naturally, my first thought turned to my faithful companion, my beloved collie. However, upon closer inspection, I quickly dismissed the notion that he could have been the culprit. His claws, though strong and sturdy, were short in length, rendering them unable to produce such a fine and elongated scratch. Furthermore, it struck me as odd that a single scratch would be left behind. If he had slipped or stumbled, one would expect multiple marks indicative of a struggle or an accident. The mystery deepened and my perplexity intensified. In the face of this inexplicable phenomenon, I couldn't help but question my own sanity. Doubts and uncertainties clouded my mind as I pondered the origin of these perplexing scratches. Was it possible that I was hallucinating or succumbing to some sort of delusion? The rational part of my being sought to find a logical explanation, a plausible answer that would restore my sense of order and reason. Compounding my concerns was the looming presence of my landlord, who I imagined would be less than pleased with the state of the premises the way they were. The fear of retribution weighed heavily on my shoulders, exasperating my anxiety and exasperating my determination to unravel the mystery before me. Driven by an insatiable curiosity and a desperate need for answers, I embarked on a quest to uncover the truth behind these inexplicable scratches. I meticulously combed through every possible scenario, considering every conceivable cause. Could it have been the result of an unseen intruder, stealthily leaving their mark as a twisted form of psychological torment? Or perhaps there was a rational explanation rooted in the intricate workings of the natural world. Some unseen force is at play. Days turned into nights as I pored over countless articles, delving deep into the realms of the paranormal and the unexplained. I sought solace in the accounts of others who had experienced similar inexplicable occurrences, finding comfort in the knowledge that I was not alone in my confusion and bewilderment. Yet, despite my tireless efforts, the answers remained elusive. The scratches continued to taunt me, a daily reminder of the enigma that had invaded my sanctuary. Sleep eluded me as my mind became consumed with theories and conjectures, each one more outlandish than the last. Amidst this turmoil, a sliver of hope emerged. I realized that dwelling on the uncertainties and fearing the wrath of my landlord would only serve to heighten my distress. Instead, I chose to adopt a different perspective, one of acceptance and surrender to the unknown. With this newfound mindset, I decided to embrace my mystery, allowing it to weave its intricate threads into the fabric of my existence. I recognized that there are phenomena in this vast universe that defy explanation, and perhaps these scratches were one such phenomenon. Instead of tirelessly seeking answers, I resolved to find peace within the acceptance of the unknowable. As time went on, the scratches on my bedroom wall and floor became a constant presence in my life. They served as a reminder of the limits of human understanding and the mysteries that lay beyond our grasp. Instead of succumbing to frustration or fear, I chose to view them as maybe an invitation to explore the realm of the supernatural and delve into the depths of the unexplained. I embarked on a journey of research and discovery, immersing myself in books, documentaries, and online forums dedicated to paranormal phenomenon. I connected with individuals who had encountered similar unexplained scratches and shared their stories, finding solace in the collective wisdom and support of this community. Through my investigations, I unearthed tales of haunted houses where inexplicable scratches appeared on walls and floors, attributed to the restless spirits of former inhabitants. These stories resonated with me, and I contemplated the possibility that my own abode harbored a hidden history or unseen occupants. Seeking guidance, I consulted with paranormal investigators and spiritual mediums, inviting them into my house to conduct thorough investigations. Their presence brought a sense of both trepidation and anticipation, as I hoped for answers while fearing what they might uncover. During their visits, the investigators utilized a myriad of tools and techniques to communicate with the spiritual realm. Electronic voice phenomenon recordings were made, EVPs, capturing potential messages from beyond. EMF, electromagnetic field detectors, were employed to identify fluctuations in energy, potentially indicating the presence of otherworldly entities. As I sat in the darkness, surrounded by these dedicated individuals, I witnessed moments of profound intensity. Whispers filled the air, shadowy figures appeared, fleeting in my peripheral vision, and the temperature fluctuated unpredictably. It was an eerie and surreal experience, one that simultaneously thrilled and unnerved me. Yet, despite the meticulous investigations and the tantalizing glimpses into the supernatural, the origin of the scratches remained elusive. The experts themselves were confounded, unable to provide a definitive explanation. They offered theories ranging from poltergeist activity to residual energy imprints, but none could be conclusively proven. In the absence of concrete answers, I found solace in the realm of speculation and personal interpretation. I began to embrace the scratches as symbols, manifestations of a hidden narrative or emotional energy. They became a catalyst for introspection, prompting me to explore the depths of my own psyche and confront unresolved emotions and subconscious fears. In the process, I discovered the power of self-reflection and the potential for personal growth that lay within the enigmatic scratches. They became a metaphor for the scratches and scars we all carry within us, physical or emotional reminders of the challenges that we have faced and the resilience that we have cultivated. As I continue my journey of self-discovery and spiritual exploration, the scratches gradually lost their ability to unsettle me. I found peace in accepting their presence as part of my life, a mysterious and unexplained phenomenon that defied rational explanation. Instead of allowing them to instill fear or doubt, I chose to view them as a reminder of the vastness of the universe and the infinite possibilities that exist beyond our comprehension. Today, the scratches on my bedroom wall and floor serve as testament to the intricacies of existence, a tangible representation of the mysteries that surround us. They have become a symbol of my own journey, a constant reminder to embrace the unknown, to seek answers while finding solace in the acceptance of the unknowable. So as time goes and the scratches persist in their enigmatic nature, I continue to live alongside them, guided by a newfound sense of curiosity and wonder. I am reminded that life is a tapestry woven both with the known and the mysterious, and the human experience itself. It is in these moments of uncertainty and intrigue that we are compelled to expand our perspectives, challenge our preconceptions, and explore the boundless realms of knowledge and spirituality. I've come to realize that the scratches on my bedroom wall and floor are not merely physical aberrations, but profound symbols of the interconnectedness between the seen and unseen, the tangible and intangible. They are reminders that our understanding of reality is limited and that there are forces at work beyond our comprehension. With each passing day, I find myself drawn deeper into the mysteries that surround us. I immerse myself in philosophical texts, scientific research, and ancient wisdom, seeking to unravel the secrets that lie hidden within the fabric of existence. Though this journey of intellectual and spiritual exploration is hard, I have discovered that the scratches serve as gateways to the greater understanding of the universe and our place within it. As I embrace the unknown, my perspective expands, and so with it my consciousness becomes more attuned to the subtle energies and vibrations that permeate our world. I've developed a heightened intuition, allowing me to perceive the subtle whispers of the universe, guiding me toward profound insights and revelations. In the midst of this transformative journey, I've encountered individuals who share similar experiences, forming deep connections with fellow seekers of truth. We exchange stories, theories, and hypotheses, piecing together the fragments of our collective understanding and weaving a tapestry of shared knowledge and wisdom. Together, we explore the realms of metaphysics, consciousness, and spirituality, delving into ancient teachings, mystical practices, and scientific breakthroughs. Our discussions are filled with excitement and wonder as we delve into the realm of quantum physics, multidimensional realities, and the interconnectedness of all things. The scratches that once filled me with apprehension now filled me with a sense of awe and reverence. They have become symbols of the vastness of existence, reminding me that there's always more to discover, more to learn, and more to experience. They serve as gentle nudges from the universe, urging me to embrace the beauty of the unknown and to venture into the uncharted territories of knowledge and self-discovery. Through this ongoing exploration, I've come to understand that the scratches on my bedroom wall and floor are not a burden but a gift that has expanded my consciousness, deepened my spiritual connection, and enriched my perception of reality. They've allowed me to transcend the boundaries of the mundane and glimpse into the profound interconnectedness of all things. So, as time continues its relentless march forward, I stand in awe of the scratches that adorn my surroundings. They are no longer mere physical marks, but portals to a world of endless wonders and infinite possibilities. With each passing day, I am reminded of the immense beauty and complexity that resides within the fabric of our own existence, and I'm grateful for the journey of self-discovery and enlightenment that these scratches have set upon me. In this eternal quest for knowledge and understanding, I embrace the scratches as constant companions, guiding me toward a deeper comprehension of the mysteries that lie just beyond the veil of the known. And in their presence, I find solace, inspiration, and a profound sense of purpose. For it is through the enigmatic and the unexplained that we truly come alive, embracing the fullness of our human potential and our infinite capacity to explore the vast expanses of existence. The odd experience yesterday when I was sleeping and being woken up. Yesterday, my husband kindly offered to take care of our baby for the morning so I could get some extra sleep. Little did I know that my dream was about to be invaded by a haunting presence. In my dream, I was being followed by a ghost or a spirit. Despite my fear, I kept telling the entity that I wasn't afraid of it. And walking away, I must have been a terrible liar, because I was actually terrified. And at one point in my dream, the spirit blew into the other side of my neck, causing all the hairs on the back of my neck to stand up. Then it started violently shaking my shoulder. Suddenly I was awakened from my dream to find that my shoulder was actually being shaken in real life. I tried to ignore it and go back to sleep, but it happened again this time, without the presence of the ghostly dream. I was completely confused, and I didn't know what to think. Had my dream simply continued into reality? Was there something more sinister here? I was freaked out, to say the least. Naturally, I checked on my family and baby to make sure that they were okay, and they were sound asleep, completely oblivious to the supernatural experience I had just endured. I couldn't help but wonder, had anyone else ever experienced something like this? The fear and confusion that lingered within me left me feeling uneasy. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off, but for now, I'll just have to leave it as a mysterious and unexplained occurrence, and hope that it doesn't happen again. Boyfriend's mom heard hissing from inside the closet and banging and pushing like something's trying to get out. I'm reading a story about a friend of mine who recently experienced something really strange in her house, and I just can't stop thinking about it. She was fast asleep one night when she was suddenly woken up by a strange noise. It was a knocking sound that seemed to be coming from inside her closet. She immediately sat up in bed and listened carefully to try to figure out what it could be. At first, she thought it might be her cat playing around inside the closet, but she quickly realized that it couldn't be the case because the knocking was too loud and too persistent. She tried to dismiss it and go back to sleep, but the knocking continued and it was impossible to ignore. She woke up her son, who lives with her, and he confirmed that he also hears the knocking sounds at night. It was then that they both started to feel uneasy and wonder if there was something more sinister going on inside their house. The house is located in an area that has a lot of history, including a town that was destroyed by a tornado in the 1800s. There have been reports of paranormal activity in the area, and the fact that the knocking sounds were coming from the closet with the mirrored doors made them both wonder if they had unknowingly opened some sort of portal. They both started to feel like they were being watched and began to experience strange occurrences, like objects moving on their own and sudden drops in temperature. Her son even reported seeing a full-bodied apparition of a man sitting on his bed many years ago. As a logical explanation, they checked for animals or possible issues with pipes, but nothing seemed to explain the knocking sound. That's when they began to worry that it could be something demonic. It's a frightening experience, and I can't help but feel for my friend and her son. I'm hoping that they can find answers and solutions to this strange and terrifying situation. If anyone has any ideas or suggestions, please share. They would be much appreciated. First time experience with a ghost. Still can't process that it really happened. It was a typical night, just like any other. I had settled into bed with my young son, who often sought the comfort of sleeping beside me. The room was enveloped in darkness, save for the faint glow of the moon casting an eerie shadow across the wall. Little did I know that this seemingly ordinary night would soon turn into a harrowing encounter from the unknown. In the midst of my slumber, I was abruptly awoken by soft cries of my son, signaling his hunger. Disoriented and groggy, I fumbled around on my nightstand in a desperate attempt to locate his bottle. The room was cloaked in an impenetrable darkness, rendering my search a daunting task. And then it happened. As I extended my hand blindly, hoping to find the familiar shape of the bottle, an eerie sensation washed over me. A warmth unlike anything I'd ever experienced before enveloped my hand. It was as if another hand, a tangible and palpable presence, had gently clasped mine. My heart skipped a beat and a surge of fear coursed through my veins. In that instant, I knew that something otherworldly had invaded my sanctuary. The touch was undeniable, the grip gentle but firm. I let out a blood-curdling scream, my body convulsing with a mixture of terror and disbelief. It felt as though I had been jolted out of my own skin, desperately seeking the sanctuary of light to banish the approaching darkness. With trembling hands, I fumbled the light switch on, my heart pounding in my chest like a drum. As the room flooded with light, I surveyed my surroundings, hoping to find a logical explanation for the inexplicable occurrence. Yet, to my dismay, the room remained seemingly ordinary, devoid of any signs of spectral presence. Since that night, I've been plagued by a relentless search for answers. I've scoured books, forums, and countless articles, hoping to find someone who has experienced a similar phenomenon. However, my efforts have been met with disappointment. The reports I came across only mentioned a chilling touch of cold hands, never warm ones like I had encountered. The absence of any reasonable explanation has left me feeling unsettled and vulnerable. How could I rationalize an event that defied all logic and scientific explanation? It was as if a veil had been lifted, exposing the hidden depths of reality that lay beyond the realm of our own comprehension. I have been plagued by sleepless nights, haunted by the memory of that spectral touch. Was it a residual energy, an echo from the past reaching out to me? Or perhaps a benevolent presence, offering comfort in the darkness? The possibilities swirl within my mind, each one more bewildering than the last. Some nights as I lie awake, I feel a heightened sense of awareness, as if the unseen world is watching, waiting to reveal itself once again. I'm caught between trepidation and curiosity, torn between the desire to unravel the mysteries that shroud my experience and the fear of inviting further encounters with the unknown. For now, I continue to seek solace in the company of others who have had their own encounters with the paranormal. I share my story hoping to connect with kindred spirits who can shed light on the inexplicable. Together, we may navigate the labyrinth-like depths of the supernatural, weaving threads of shared experiences and attempting to make a sense of the enigmatic realm that exists beyond our understanding. In the company of fellow seekers, I find solace in knowing that I am not alone in my quest for answers. As I delve deeper into the world of the paranormal, I have encountered tales of warm touches and gentle grasps, similar to my own haunting experience. It appears that the mysteries of the supernatural are as diverse and multifaceted as the human experience that shaped our lives. Some speculate that these warm touches may be the result of residual energy from a departed loved one, reaching out to offer comfort or reassurance. Others suggest that it could be the presence of a benevolent spirit extending a helping hand from the ethereal plane. While the explanations may differ, one thing remains certain. The warmth of the touch signifies a connection, a bridge between the living and the beyond. In my search for understanding, I've immersed myself in the rich tapestry of the paranormal research and spiritual teachings. I've explored ancient folklore, delved into the psychic phenomena, and delved into the intricacies of energy fields and vibrational frequencies. It is through this vast array of knowledge that I hope to piece together the puzzle of my own encounter. The journey of unraveling the paranormal is not without its challenges. Skepticism and doubts often creep in, attempting to undermine the authenticity of our experiences. Yet, I stand firm in the knowledge that I have witnessed something extraordinary, a touch that defies conventional explanation and forces me to confront the limits of my understanding. In the depths of these inexplicable encounters, I find myself questioning the nature of reality itself. And there's unseen dimensions that seem to interact with our own, permeating our lives in ways that we can't comprehend, perhaps. Could it be that our human senses, constrained by the physical world, can only perceive a fraction of the vastness that surrounds us? As I continue my quest for answers, I approach each day with a newfound sense of wonder and openness. The scratches on my bedroom wall and floor, the spectral touch that gripped my hand. These are not isolated incidents, but glimpses into a greater reality that lies just beyond our reach. They serve as reminders that our understanding of the world is constantly evolving, and that there's always more to discover, explore, and question. While the search for answers may be arduous, I'm filled with a sense of anticipation, eager to unlock the secrets that lie within the realm of the paranormal. I'm no longer haunted by fear, but motivated by curiosity, a curiosity that drives me to delve deeper into the unknown, to seek connections, and to unravel the tapestry of the supernatural. In the tapestry of existence, we are but threads, intricately woven together by experiences that extend far beyond the boundaries of our physical reality. The warm touch that gripped my hand serves as a poignant reminder that our journey is not confined to the tangible, but encompasses the ethereal, the unexplained, the extraordinary. And so, I embrace the enigma, the mysteries, and the uncharted territories of the paranormal. For in these unexplored realms, I find the potential to expand my consciousness and deepen my connection to the unseen, and to unravel the threads that bind us all to this grand tapestry of existence. Seeing shadow creatures and light flashes. For years now, I've been seeing some strange things that I can't explain. It started with small light orbs, just slightly larger than a laser cat toy, flicking erratically in the window of my hallway. I would often wake up in the middle of the night and see these orbs dancing around before disappearing, but that was just the beginning. More recently, I've been seeing shadow figures out of the corner of my eye. Tall, shadowy men will peek into my doorframe and stand in my hallway before slowly fading away. Sometimes I see shadow spiders crawling up my walls, or even on my arms. It's a creepy feeling, especially considering that I live in an old house that has always given me an uneasy feeling at night. These experiences have left me feeling uneasy and on edge, wondering what exactly I'm seeing, I'm trying to rationalize it, thinking maybe it's just in my mind and it's playing tricks on me. But the more I see these things, the less convinced I am of that explanation. As I sit here typing this, I can't help but feel the sense of dread at the thought of what else might I see tonight. Pretty sure my apartment is haunted, and I'm not sure what to do. Since August 21st, my family and I have been living in this apartment. We've been experiencing some unusual occurrences. About a year ago, my oldest son had a screaming fit that woke up the whole house. We assumed it was a nightmare until he told us that he saw a bad man in the kitchen. He described him as wearing a hat and a jacket with a scary face. It is worth noting that the kitchen is directly off of his room, which he shares with his younger brother. Within the next week or two, my husband, my teenage bonus child, and I started seeing movements out of the corners of our eyes and unexpected sightings, mostly in the bedroom doorways. These movements were heading either toward or from the bedrooms and moving toward the kitchen. Tonight, while it was still nighttime, my husband and I saw something by our bedroom door. Both of us were terrified because it looked like a preschool-sized child with blonde hair. It's a pretty spooky thing to experience. We've only had about 3 months left to live here. Medical emergencies with our youngest child prevented us from moving out sooner. My husband and I both saw the same thing at the same time, which has me really freaked out. I don't know what to do or where to start the research if something like this has ever happened, or happened here. We've seen different shadows, for lack of a better word, dozens of times. I used to play it off, but not anymore. I can't do anything without both of us seeing it at the same time. We've also had things move or gone missing out of the blue. It's been a strange few months living here, and I'm not sure what to make of it. I'll be glad when we can move out of this place and into a new one, though. Turns out the footsteps we heard were from a little boy. Remember the time my wife and I were renting a house in that old area and had a lot of history? When she moved in, there were a lot of things left behind by the previous tenants, as if they were left in a hurry. We found some Bose speakers that were still in good condition, so we kept them. However, after living there for a few months, strange things started happening. The light bulbs in the house always seemed to be loose and would not turn on. One night while we were sitting in front of the fireplace, we heard light footsteps running upstairs. When we went to check, there was nothing there. Even our Chihuahua, Leo, seemed to sense something was probably off and kept looking up the dark hallway. At first, I didn't think much of it. I mean, what could it be? But later, my wife confessed to me that she had brought an ornate gold clock upstairs that she found hidden beneath the furnace in the basement. It was a strange place to put such a nice clock, but my wife liked it and wanted to display it in the house. After she brought the clock upstairs, things got even weirder. The clock would chime in the middle of the night, and the light bulbs would slowly unscrew themselves. I couldn't explain it, but I could feel like maybe there was an eerie energy in the house. It was the kind of feeling that made you uneasy and unable to explain why. To make matters worse, my wife started having nightmares about a little blonde kid wearing an old-fashioned pilgrim clothing type. She didn't tell me about it at first because she knew that I didn't believe in any of that kind of stuff. But the more she described her dreams to me, the more I could sense that something was off about that whole house. Looking back, I realized that there are energies out there that science can't explain, and ghostly hands that teased us, mischievous energy that lingered in that old house will forever be a mystery to us. But one thing is for sure, we couldn't wait to move out of there and leave that eerie energy behind.